People are getting together for Bitcoin 2025. Here are news from David Sachs in the United States. Also, Bo Hines has some news for us. Robert Mitchnick of BlackRock is going to give us some facts. They say that you should put 1% to 2% of your money into Bitcoin and other crypto assets. We have some information from BlackRock as well. We will look at Thailand and other places that let people use cryptocurrency to buy things while they are there. I have a cool news story about this and a lot more, guys. Let's look into this more deeply. Also, I wanted to learn more about this because so many people are pushing Bitcoin as the new way to handle money and all that. Where do these people get this stuff? That Bitcoin is what banks and other financial companies will use in the future. Which is why I asked AI, could you give me an example of a bank or other financial company that uses Bitcoin right now for foreign exchange, steady coins, or tokenization? The answer will shock you. I'll do that right away. Let us try to figure out what's going on better. What's going on in Washington right now seems like a big change. There has been a complete change from being against innovation to being in favor of it, with a focus on the future and getting rid of all the things that get in the way of private sector invention. And it's been really amazing. It's been a lot of fun. I never thought I'd be a part of this government. As I already said, I'm just a guy from Silicon Valley who threw a dinner party. The next thing you know, I'm helping to push this plan in Washington, D.C. But I think it's been really amazing to be a part of it all and see it come together. Yes, that was very good. Thanks, David. It's hard to picture any other president being able to do even a small amount of this or that or run any administration. And there are just over 100 days left. So it's really cool that we still have a lot of time. It is amazing. We've only been going for about 4 months, so we still have over 3.5 years to go. I believe that what we can achieve in the following few years will be truly amazing. That which you are all going to do with Bitcoin is going to be crazy and out of this world, right? In what way are you going to use Bitcoin? Let's keep going before I talk about it. So, Bo Hines, this man, and David Sachs are the ones pushing for Bitcoin to be used more in the United States. What I meant to say was crypto adoption in America, but these two guys only talk about Bitcoin a lot. I really like that we are moving forward with using crypto in general. I'd love it if we stopped thinking that Bitcoin is the answer to all our money problems and instead thought about what cryptocurrency is and why it's important. I think that misconceptions like this make the message really hard to understand for many people. I'll show you. Bitcoin is really the best thing ever. That's the reason we call Bitcoin gold in the digital world. That's what we say, and I've said it many times. Another thing you might have noticed is that they used to say Bitcoin was like the technology of the future. Now they keep talking about Bitcoin as a way to save money, like digital cash. That's the message they're sending to the people right now, including you and me. We want as much of it as we can get as the United States. That's the reason we made the SPR the way we did. We're aware that we're different. It's clear that it's a good and not a security, so it has value on its own. It has the immaculate origin, as David likes to say. You know, this is a tool that we should use for the benefit of the American people, and as a working group, we're working hard to find ways to get more that won't hurt the budget. And I always tell reporters who ask me, how much do you want? I'll say it again and again today. That's a very silly question. We really want everything we can get. I'm going to say it over and over again while I'm here. But, you know, I think the way we set up the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the Digital Assets National Store showed that we know they are special by being different. We also said two things in this SBR. For one, we want to get more Bitcoin, and for another, we're not going to sell any Bitcoin that we may have in the US government, period. Bitcoin. Okay, so a few things. They have a blockchain-based strategic reserve and a store of digital assets, but they don't have any money to invest in other digital assets and aren't looking for ways to achieve that either. Their main goal is to find ways to add it to Bitcoin, but they're not trying to find ways to help American innovation. Remember that, right? If you're talking about the next 100 million people using Bitcoin, right? This is something that maybe Bo Hines or David Sachs hasn't thought of. Let's find out how long it really takes to handle these deals. I have been trying to make my voice heard about this and look into it. What would happen if 10 million, 50 million, or 100 million people woke up tomorrow and each chose to make one transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain? They could buy coffee or lunch. I tried to say something like tokenization, but I guess that's not allowed, right? This will take this long. 10 million deals. 10 million deals would be handled in 16 to 38 days. It would take 82 to 192 days to finish 50 million transactions, and it would take 163 days to finish 100 million transactions. That's about half a year to a year. Some people will now ask, what about Layer 2, Sensei? Without a doubt, Layer 2s can help, but only so much, right? Major banks aren't looking at Bitcoin as a benefit token because this process takes so long. They are only interested in Bitcoin as a way to store value. Because I asked AI, what are the names of the banks that are actually moving forward with using Bitcoin for cross-border foreign exchange or tokenization? What kind of financial companies are those? And as you can see, not many big banks are actually using Bitcoin to make payments across borders or tokenize financial assets. The trend in the business is to use blockchain technology, stable coins, tokenization, and other platforms instead. So banks and fintechs, 62% of them are working together to make cross-border payments better, etc. But the real question was, how many banks are doing it? I told you I asked which banks, but you didn't answer. It tells you that you are right. There aren't any big banks or other financial institutions that use Bitcoin as their main way to send money across borders or tokenize financial assets. The public is being told that Bitcoin is pretty much the answer to all of America's troubles, right? We'll save a lot of money this way, but big banks aren't even looking at Bitcoin for any use. These are the times when people talk about the biggest distraction in history and the business world. That's what this is. They are taking your attention away with Bitcoin so that you can buy Bitcoin, they ask. They don't want you to buy XRP, XLM, Algorand, HBAR, or Chainlink, which could be the next big thing in finance. They don't want you to get anything. They want you to put all of your money into Bitcoin because, well, they want to be in charge, right? There's a lot of manipulation going on in crypto in general, and they want you to buy, if you are the average person who only has $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000 to spend, it must be 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.01 Bitcoin, right? So they know that even if Bitcoin goes up to $1 million or even $5 million, it won't be enough to get you out of their mess of debt. But if you put the same amount of money into XRP, XLM, or any of the other assets I just talked about, you might be able to live without work. That's not what they want. They want to have power over us. The reason they want to keep us in debt is that it gives them power over us. This keeps going. This is a little different. Miss Robbie Mitchnick explains why BlackRock says that you should put 1% to 2% of your account into Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is fine with me, okay? You should get some Bitcoin, I think. I don't like how they sell this and force it down everyone's throat. Most people aren't going to take the time to do this extra research like you are, yes? Everyone else thinks Bitcoin is a great idea, but it only solves the gold problem? Yes? Gold is bad because it's heavy. People want to steal it, so it's hard to move around. Yes? And Bitcoin lets you bring this $1 billion or whatever it is around the world on a flash drive, a record, or something else. That's exactly what it is. That's all